Hey everyone, Jeff Johnson here from the Gazette with my compadre Jeff Linder, and we're here to talk a little hoops with you, or at you, however you want to look at it. Another edition of our weekly podcast with the days of the regular season dwindling. We've got, I guess we're going to start out with, on the girls' side, we have some actual postseason brackets, and I'm going to
Yay.
turn it over to Jeff here. And where do you want to start, Jeffrey? Class 1A or Class 3A? What are you seeing from?
Oh, let's start with 3A. We'll go big to small. Brackets came out a couple of days ago. I think it was Tuesday for 3A, 2A, 1A, and could be yet today or could be tomorrow for the two big classes. I would say that as per usual, the union did a nice job of separating everybody. Each of the top 8 teams in each class have their own little niche, I guess you could say, and atop the regions. And so Region 2, 3A, Solon is the top seed. They play Fairfield. On the other, they'd be heavily favored to win their first two, and they'd probably run into either Mount Vernon or Davenport Assumption in the regional final. 3A is a deal. They've changed this year that the highest seeded team, like they've done in the past in 4A and 5A, will host instead of a neutral site for 3A. 3A Region 3, Benton Community is the favorite there. They would probably run into either Center Point Urbana or West Liberty in a regional final. CPU and West Liberty would be a really good regional semi. 3A5, 3A7. Monticello's probably the best area team in that one. They would probably be lined up to play Dubuque Wallard on the road in a regional semi. Osage is the top seeded in that, and on the other side, Region 8. Vinton Shellsburg and Mid Prairie are slated to reach the regional semis. The winner of that would probably play Grinnell in a regional final. 3A, the regional quarters are the 11th, the 15th for the semis, and the 18th, Saturday the 18th for the regional finals.
Okay. All right.
2A. The top seed in our area is Cascade, top ranked team. They're number 5. They're slated to get a first round bye, host 2, and then would probably be playing somebody like Appleton Parkersburg or Sumner Fredericksburg in a regional final. Regina is the 6th ranked team. They're the headliner in Region 6. Same story. They get a bye. They get 2 at home, and would probably play Mediapolis or maybe West Burlington in a regional final. And that's pretty much the highlights in 2A. Quick look at 1A. Northland's far and away our best team in 1A. They get a first round bye, would play 2 at home. The regional final would probably be against Montezuma or Springville, which Montezuma-Springville would be a really good regional semi. Northland, if it's Northland Springville, they'd be playing for the 3rd time. Springville actually led them at halftime last time they played, and I think Northland won by about 15. Let's see. Elkader Central has been ranked, in the second 5 most of the season. They'd be the 2nd seed in 1A Region 6 and would probably play West Fork in a regional final if both teams get that far. Turkey Valley would be a possible regional semifinal team for the Warriors. And that pretty much takes care of our top area teams in 3A, 2A, 1A.
So you thought everything came out? I mean, there were no major surprises to you, I guess.
No, I can't say there's really anybody that has a big beef with the union. I think everybody pretty much got what they deserved, if the rankings are correct. So yeah, I think it worked out pretty well.
Well, what has gone on the girls' side? Any big games that maybe games that you've talked about since we did this last?
I would say the biggest news on the girls' side right now is Mike Sconsa, the Cascade coach, who revealed to his team after a really emotional game last Friday. They came back from 10 points down in the last 2-11, I think, to win 42-41 against Monticello. He went to the locker room, and it was a pretty emotional place. He told the team that he's going to be stepping back for the rest of the season, and he's got a kidney transplant waiting for him. A donor from somewhere out east is donating a kidney to him, and he was able. The interesting thing is, and I didn't know this. Maybe you did, but if you can line up somebody to donate a kidney, you get moved up high on the list as far as receiving one. So his wife Angie said that she would donate a kidney, and they found a recipient for her in Georgia. So Mike and Angie both will have their surgeries on Valentine's Day, so on the 14th of February. So all the best to Mike. He's the coach that lost the season to a stroke, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and has been battling some health issues throughout most of his adult life. And I hope this is kind of the precursor for better things to come for him.
A good man and a great coach, right? Or great man,
great coach, and we already have a date once he gets out of the hospital and is feeling up to it. We've got a Scrabble date set for his house, so looking forward to that.
Very nice, Mike. Best from me. Obviously, it all is. So, get healthy. We'll get this taken care of, I guess. So.
Yeah, 45 is way too young for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. You were at where were you at? You were at Mount Vernon Marion on Monday night. Is that right?
I was at the boys' game just to watch on Monday night, and Mount Vernon played terrific.
Yeah,
they got up about 15 at half, and I think Marion got within maybe 7 or 8, but every time Marion threatened, Mount Vernon was there to hit a 3-pointer or get a basket or a key stop, and I think they won. I think it was 65-52 Monday. So I was out there. My cousin's son had senior night for Mount Vernon. So Tuesday I was back at Mount Vernon for regional duels wrestling. So
you got to tell us about that. That was the first one you've wrestling meet you've covered in what, 93? Did I?
Yeah, I think 30 years. You know what? I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. It was a neat atmosphere. We had a little kerfuffle in the 195-pound match. We had a kid from Assumption headbutted the kid from Mount Vernon. So the Mount Vernon kid, he won by disqualification. That's 6 points. The Assumption was docked 3 points for, I think they called it flagrant misconduct or something like that. And then the Mount Vernon kid lost a point for basically waving to the Assumption kid after he was taken off. So it was an 8-point swing, and it made the night interesting.
Mount Vernon Monday night was not the only night that the Mustang boys basketball team picked up a big win. Last Tuesday night, the Mustangs went to Cedar Rapids Xavier and beat the Saints on a last-second shot. I think it was 67-66. So in 6 days, Mount Vernon beat the then second-ranked team in Class 3 and then came right back and beat the third-ranked team in Marion this week. So I don't know how that's going to affect possible brackets here in the next, couple of weeks when they're announced. But I guess Coach Derek Roberts' club is announcing that, hey, don't forget about us. So
yeah.
Marion, Xavier, and Mount Vernon all in shouting distance of each other. You wonder how they'll split up, if at all. So, and
I suppose if there wasn't a team called Cedar Rapids Kennedy, you could call Mount Vernon the Metro champs right now.
Yeah, that's right. So, Cougars 89-46 the other night over Waterloo West in the 1-7 game rankings wise. So
just a wrecking crew, aren't they?
Yeah, so deep, and that plays into the style of ball that they want to play. They're very aggressive defensively, and they're not going to back off from you that way, because even if somebody gets in foul trouble, there's somebody behind them that can come in off the bench and they can still play the same style. So it's pretty incredible. And I think they're making 3-pointers going into that game the other night at like a 40-some% clip, and everybody can shoot it. It's not just, 1, 2, 3 guys or anything like that. So yeah, big test here in a couple of weeks. They go to West Des Moines Valley, which is ranked fourth, and that's going to be a really a fun game, and one that I think will tell a lot, about just how good this Kennedy team is. Not sure how good the Valley is, quite frankly, this season. Might be down a little bit. But I mean, when you got a team in there that's kicking everybody's behind as badly as Kennedy is on a consistent basis, that's a pretty good ball club. Pretty good ball club.
So fill in the blank. This is the Metro's best team since when and who?
Boy.
Marcus Page team, or is it further back than that?
Could be, but I was trying to think like in that era of Limar basketball, I think Limar won it when he was a sophomore, if I remember right. There were so many other really, really good individual players around to go along with him. D1 guys, your Utahs, your Oglesbys, your Washburns.
A bunch of Bohannons.
Yeah, it just seemed like there were so many good players, and I remember a lot of really good ball games back then. But it's different to me because obviously there's not one big time D1 college kid on this Kennedy team. You've got a Kenzie Reed who is going to D2 Upper Iowa. He probably could have gone a smaller D1 had he wanted to. So I guess I think he's a D1 worthy, maybe kind of point guard, but there's not really that superstar, bona fide, big time college guy. And I actually asked John McCollum, the coach, the other night, because he won a state championship when he was in Kansas before coming to Kennedy, and he had a team that was. He said, "Did you know there's 6 classes in the state of Kansas?" Jeff?
What? No, I didn't know that.
I was like, "You got to be kidding!" And then he pointed out, he goes, "Well, you got your Kansas City. You have some big cities where you got enrollments of 2,200, 23, 2,400. So then that made sense a little bit. But he had a team that won a state championship out there that had a kid, and man, I can't think of his name right now. That ended up a big time player that ended up going to the NBA after signing with Kansas, I believe it was. So I asked, how does that team compare to this one? And he goes, well, it's different, obviously, because we had the superstar and then we had a really good point guard, and that made a great combination. This team, top to bottom, is better than that one, just from a top to bottom standpoint. Mm-hmm. So, it's interesting. Cedar Rapids, Washington's playing real good ball right now and played them a pretty tight game. It was like a 5-6 point game in the fourth quarter, and Kennedy pulled away a little bit the other night. So it'll be interesting. You play them one at a time, obviously. And, it was interesting to see like an Ankeny Centennial came over and played Prairie Monday night. So you get able to see a team that's the top 10 team from the CIML, although not necessarily the top team in the CIML, come over and play. And it's just strange. I mean, I've gone back and forth, as part of the rankings deal with the 2 coaches, involved with me, and Justin Old Drake Bulldog, go Dogs, Waukee coaching that famous buddy from North Scott. And it's just like, it's from a weekly standpoint, it's just the top 4 is set. It's easy, but after that, it's just flotsam and jetsam is not the accurate term, but there's so many like teams and teams that get beat on a weekly basis that you bump out of the top 10, and then the next week, you put somebody else in, then they might lose a game. And Sioux City East was undefeated, like 16-0 or something like that, and they lost twice back-to-back games this week. So there's definitely a hierarchy. Four really good teams in Waukee, Northwest, Valley, and Kennedy, and then I think there's probably quite a bit of drop off after that. So
So
there you go.
you being the BC Moore fan that you are, I'll share this. Right now, they've got Kennedy 1, Northwest 2, Valley 3, Waukee 4. Does that sound
Okay.
about right?
Uh, if you do the compare the scores thing, Waukee and Waukee Northwest split 2 games. Waukee won the return matchup by like double digits. I think Waukee and Waukee Northwest are the teams that gave Valley its losses. So, I guess it's just a matter of if you want to, how much you want to play that head-to-head game, which, I think plays a large part in it.
That's got to be worth something. The computer says that Kennedy's 4 points better than Northwest, 7 points better than Valley and Waukee. So, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to the Final Four and 4A, and I think that would be it'd be really, really interesting to see how those games shake out. But a ton of basketball to be played before. Yeah. That's where we stand. We got a big one tonight, Jeff. I'm going to head up to Dunkerton. Have you ever been there?
Oh, yes, I have. I covered a regional final volleyball match at Dunkerton.
Is that right? Nice gymnasium.
Yeah. Nice gymnasium.
Yeah.
Very nice gymnasium. So
Northland's playing up there. The battle of 2 against, I think, Dunkerton 6 dropped from 5th this week. Both undefeated. We're supposed to play last Saturday night, got weathered out, and they're going to play tonight. So,
what's your feel on that one?
Going to be awfully hard to beat Northland. And Dunkerton's got some experience, couple of experienced guards in particular, but when you have it face that full court pressure defense that the Northland throws at you, it takes a long while sometimes to get adjusted to it. So
yeah, if it takes you 4 to 6 minutes, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a 15-20 point run, whatever it might be, and then the ball game's over. So
yeah.
But it'll be interesting. I think it'll be close. It's nice that these teams, it was kind of a last minute type of a situation where they decided to play. Northland needed an extra game and reached out to a couple schools. And Dunkerton ultimately decided to take them up on the offer. So good deal. Hawkeye women, what do you got for me? They're pretty good.
They're very good. They got a toughie tonight. Brenda Freeze and Maryland come to town. I'd say it's basically a coin flip. Maryland's one of those physical teams that is a bad matchup for Iowa. I would say chances of McKenna Warnock being back tonight are probably 10% at most. Okay. Still battling that rib cage issue. But Iowa can certainly can win the game. They've got they're going to score. And I wrote about it a little bit for today. Is they've become a pretty good rebounding team. I mean, that's been one of their kind of shortcomings for the last few years. But they've out rebounded all 6 of the teams that they've beaten here in this 6-game winning streak. And heck, they out rebounded Ohio State on the road by 20. So that bodes well. And I think Hannah Stolke's a big part of that, and so is Caitlin Clark. I mean, if you're getting triple doubles or flirting with triple doubles, that means you're getting a lot of rebounds. So, yeah, I think it'll be a great game, and it's going to be a huge crowd. A lot of people will be watching on TV, and it'll be worth the 2 hours.
What time? What tip do you got? 7:30.
I believe ESPN 1.
ESPN, so ESPN. Yeah. Nice, very nice. Get that exposure from ESPN. So, what are they expecting for a crowd? Any idea?
Asked the ticket office yesterday, and they were down to about 1,000 seats left.
Wow, that's awesome. And you can't say that doesn't make a difference. So,
it gets loud in there for women's games. It really does.
Absolutely. Tomorrow night, where are you heading? What do you got?
I'll be at the Ron Thillum Gymnasium. I've got Xavier and Linmar in a girl-boy doubleheader.
And the ladies go first this time, unlike
ladies go first. Should be girls' game should be a good game. Boys' game should too, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I actually covered the first doubleheader between those two.
Okay.
Linmar beat Xavier on the girls' side, and Xavier beat Linmar on the boys' side. So
yeah. I don't know what it is, but Xavier's girls are struggling right now. They lost 4 in a row. They got beat fairly handily Tuesday by Dubuque Senior.
Okay.
So they gotta do a U-turn here pretty fast if they're gonna make a deep run.
Well, we've talked about this, Jeff. I think too. Is January's the toughest month I think for everybody because it's kind of a slog, and now that we're hitting February, I think maybe everybody's attention in practice probably gets a little bit more intense, and because you can see what's right ahead of you, and those are the most important games of the season. So
right. Put some girls basketball notes out there. Just mentioned some. I think it was 7 games, regular season remaining games that are worth watching before we head into tournaments.
awesome. Check that out on the Gazette online. I did a little thing on Davis Curran, Linmar's fine 6'8" sophomore, whose sister plays for the Linmar girls. That's a freshman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good shooter.
Yeah.
Good shooter.
I asked him who the better player was, and he kind of deferred, I guess. Said, I know she's a way better soccer player than I am. That's
okay.
Nice. So that'll be, we'll talk about that. MFL Marmac recently wrapped up the Upper Iowa Conference Championship on the boys' side. So,
do you have anybody else that's clinched already?
I'm thinking Keota in that division of the Sickle has certainly clinched. I'm trying to think.
For a school that's really, really small, they're generally pretty darn good, aren't they?
Yeah,
Keota boys.
yeah, for sure. Dan Stout's the longtime coach here, and he's had some really good sons that have played for him. He's got another one playing for him now, and they are a very small school. I think enrollment, 70 maybe beds enrollment.
I'm not sure it's that big.
Yeah, but it's nice when a small school like that can be a consistent winner. No question, it shows something about coaching and the boys and all that kind of stuff. So tomorrow night, I think Prairie and Washington. That's a girl boy doubleheader, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I'll be. We'll get out there early and check out the girls' game first at Washington, and then next week, who knows? I haven't looked that far ahead.
No, it's hard to do that sometimes, isn't it? You just got your head down. You got so many irons in the fire, and worry about next week.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I do think I'm going unless something happens to Iowa here the next 2 games. I do think I'm going to go to Bloomington on Thursday.
Oh, really? Nice. Have you ever been there?
No, nope.
Bob Knight is all over that place. Or at least when I was there. And you can take that any way you want, but yeah.
I'll come out of there an angry man then.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. So anything else you want to hit before we sign off?
No, I think we've hit the high points. So yeah, like I said, I'll be at Xavier. You'll be at Wash tomorrow. You're going to Dunkerton tonight.
Yeah.
You got anything this weekend?
I might check out some. No, actually, Sunday. Sunday afternoon hockey, actually.
Okay. Up here or down there?
Up here, the Rough Riders play their first Sunday afternoon game, and congrats to Coach Mark Carlson. While I'm thinking of it, 150th win in his career, all accumulated here in Cedar Rapids in 23 seasons. He hit that last week when his team beat Muskegon. So
I wonder if he thought when he came here 23 years ago if he'd still be here.
I guess no, but it's just kind of the way it's worked out. He's, I think, 33 wins away from tying the all-time USHL record for most career victories. So theoretically, he could hit that, sometime next season. So
right.
He's developed a lot of players and a lot of good kids. So
that's
what it's all about.
Yeah.
So thank you, Nathan. Might have 4 of the Minnesota Wild tickets for you for a game next week that I won. So don't know for sure, but that's just for all the fine work you do for us here. So Jeff, thanks for chatting. Again, folks, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. A lot of good stuff. Got a lot of wrestling postseason. Our cohort KJ Pilcher's taking care of right now. I think he's at the girls' state tournament right now. As a matter of fact,
they sold out quickly today.
Wow. Wow, down in Coralville. So
Yeah.
thank you, folks, for listening. Another edition here of our prep slash college basketball podcast. And we will chat at you again next week. Take care. Have a good weekend.